Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to have your mind blown.
I know I am.
Today we're diving into consciousness and memory. But get this, our guide is a conversation between Sadhguru, the yogi and mystic,
Oh, yeah.
and he's talking with two top medical minds,
At Harvard Medical School, no less.
Dr. Emery N. an anesthesiologist.
And Dr. Nicholas Schiff, a neurologist.
We're getting spirituality and hardcore science all in one.
A potent combo.
What's wild is, it all started with a simple question about how anesthesia works. And then, boom, it exploded into this exploration of consciousness itself.
It's like they pulled a thread and this whole tapestry of the mind started to unravel.
Exactly. And you know what really grabbed me? Seeing the limits of how Western science views consciousness, especially through the lens of yogic science.
Some seriously radical ideas in there.
Okay, so picture this. You're going out there for surgery. It's like lights out, right?
Right.
I always figured anesthesia just shut off the brain, like a power switch.
Nixon.
But Dr. Brown, he drops this analogy that totally changed my thinking. He says it's more like a bridge, swaying so violently traffic can't cross.
I love that.
He explains that anesthesia doesn't actually turn off the brain. It forces these crazy oscillations in the brain circuits.
Like hijacking the electrical rhythms.
Exactly. Like that bridge, these oscillations mess up the communication pathways. The brain's still active, but the signals are all scrambled.
It's wild. Even different brain waves like alpha and delta waves get totally messed up.
Which makes perfect sense when you think about that post-surgery brain fog.
Like your circuits are trying to get back in sync.
But hold on, here comes Sadhguru, and he's basically saying, hold up Western science. Consciousness isn't just about being awake.
He's like, there's way more to it.
Right. He brings up these 4 states of consciousness from yogic science.
Lay it on us.
So there's Jagruti, that's everyday wakefulness, what Western science usually focuses on.
Okay, familiar territory.
Then there's Swapna, the dream state. We've all had those crazy vivid dreams that feel more real than real life, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what's going on there? What does it tell us about our minds when they're not stuck in the physical world?
Makes you wonder what we're missing when we are awake.
Right, but there's more. Sadhguru throws out Sushupti, which is, get this, dreamless sleep where you're still aware.
Whoa, hold on.
I know, right? Aware, but no thoughts or images. How does that even work?
Like, what's the canvas without the painting? The screen with no movie?
Exactly. It makes you question what it means to simply exist purely as awareness.
Mind blown.
But it gets wilder. He takes us to the ultimate state. Turiya. Pure consciousness, beyond even memory.
Beyond memory.
Imagine experiencing reality without the filter of your past. All those thoughts and experiences that shape how you see things, just gone.
Okay, now that's a whole other level.
It seriously makes you wonder, how much are we limited by our memories, by our past? Are we just scratching the surface of what our minds can do?
Huge questions. And you know where Sadhguru goes next?
Oh, like I do.
He challenged the idea that the brain is the only core source of intelligence.
There we go.
He's saying we're way too focused on the brain, that intelligence is everywhere in the body.
He uses the example of our cells, right?
Yeah. Cells hold tons of memory, way more than the brain. They remember stuff from millions of years ago. It's how we exist as humans.
Wait, so each cell in my body is like a tiny hard drive with ancient information?
Pretty much.
Wow. If intelligence is a whole body thing, what does that mean for our potential? Are we selling ourselves short by just focusing on the brain?
Totally changes the game, right?
Okay, but there's one thing I got to hear about. Sadhguru's soap bubble analogy. I've heard him talk about this before.
Oh, that's a good one. What's your take on it?
Well, he says, imagine a soap bubble.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The film, that thin layer that gives it shape, that's memory. All your experiences, thoughts, everything that makes you you.
Like the filter through which you see the world.
Exactly. But the air inside the bubble, that's the mind-blowing part.
What about it?
That, Sadhguru says, is consciousness itself. The universal force that makes everything alive.
So we're all individual bubbles, shaped by our memories, but inside, we all have that same consciousness.
Right. We're connected by this shared consciousness, even though we experience it through our own filters. But what happens when the bubble pops?
When the bubble pops.
That's death, right? The air merges back into the atmosphere. Individual consciousness goes back to the source.
A beautiful way to picture it. Our lives are like these temporary expressions of consciousness taking on different forms because of our memories.
And then ultimately we merge back together.
Makes you think about the scale of it all, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If these bubbles of consciousness eventually go back to a universal source, what does that say about reality? Are we really as separate as we think?
Deep stuff. And there's another layer to this.
Oh,
Sadhguru's concept of karma. It adds a whole other dimension to memory.
because it's not just about remembering events.
Right. Right. Sadhguru talks about karma as the leftover impact of memories, not just the ones we actively recall. Genetic memories, evolutionary memories, even cellular memories. It's like our entire history is built into us.
Wow.
And these memories have a deeper effect on us than we realize. They shape our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, even how we stand. It's not just about recalling stuff. It's about the imprints that make us who we are.
Like how much of what I do today is because of stuff from my childhood, even if I don't think about it.
Exactly.
But that raises a big question. If our memories are that powerful and we're carrying all this baggage from the past, how much free will do we actually have? Are we just playing out a script written by our memories?
That is the million-dollar question. And Sadhguru adds another twist.
What's that?
He's saying memory goes beyond our individual minds. We're talking about collective memories, the shared history of all humanity that we all carry.
So we're shaped by our own memories, and the collective consciousness of our species.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
No kidding. It's empowering and kind of scary at the same time. But before we go too deep into that, I know Sadhguru brings up something pretty sobering about artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets real.
He basically says, machines are about to become better than us at processing data and analyzing things. All that stuff we humans are proud of, our intellect, our logic, machines will do it faster, better.
It's like a wake-up call, right?
Big time. It's a challenge to find an intelligence that goes beyond just thinking like we do now.
So if we're heading into a world where machines outsmart us, where do we go from here? What's next for humanity?
That is the question. And it's one we're going to tackle head on in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore what it means to cultivate a deeper intelligence, one that goes beyond the brain's limits, and how we can tap into consciousness beyond our individual minds.
This is getting good.
Buckle up, everyone. Things are about to get even more mind-blowing.
Welcome back! Man, after that last part, my brain feels like it needs an upgrade. Right. Sadhguru's perspective really shakes things up, makes you question everything.
It's like a total system reboot.
Yeah.
But seriously, how do we even approach this deeper intelligence thing?
Yeah. Is there like a secret formula? Do you need to meditate in a cave for 10 years?
Or is there a Consciousness for Dummies book we can pick up?
Well, Sadhguru doesn't really give any specific techniques. He's more about a fundamental shift in how we exist.
So it's about changing our whole operating system, not just downloading a new app.
Exactly. It's not about learning new stuff. It's about transforming how we see and interact with reality.
Okay, but how? That sounds pretty intense. Where do we even start?
Remember those altered states of consciousness Sadhguru talked about? Swapna, Sushupti, Turiya.
Oh yeah, those are wild.
Well, those aren't just theories. They show the potential we have inside us.
Okay, but is there a roadmap?
There's no step-by-step guide, but there are things we can do to cultivate a wider awareness.
Like meditation.
Exactly.
I've tried it, but I suck at quieting my mind. It's like a monkey swinging from thought to thought.
That's super common, especially these days. Our world is so stimulating. But that's what makes meditation so important. It trains your mind to settle down, to just observe those thoughts without getting carried away.
Isn't that what anesthesia does, though?
Yeah.
Quiets the mind. Is there a link there?
Interesting parallel. But there's a big difference.
What is it?
Remember what Dr. Brown said? Anesthesia forces the brain into this weird state. It's like hitting pause on those communication pathways. But meditation, that lets the mind calm down naturally. It's not about suppressing thoughts. It's about making space for deeper awareness.
So finding that quiet space, but without drugs or anything external.
Right, like turning off the monkey mind's power switch.
Got it. But is it just sitting there with your eyes closed?
Yeah.
Or can you bring this awareness into everyday life?
That's the key, bringing it into everything you do. Being present in every moment, paying attention to your thoughts and emotions without judging them, and, most importantly, recognizing that everything is connected.
Like Sadhguru's soap bubble analogy.
Exactly. We're all individual bubbles, but we share the same air, the same universal consciousness.
It makes you realize the boundaries between us and the world are way more fluid than we think.
We're like characters in this cosmic movie, each playing our part, but connected by the same story.
And realizing that can be so freeing. It breaks you out of those limited, ego-driven perceptions.
Opens you up to a much bigger picture.
This brings us back to karma, doesn't it?
It does.
If our memories shape our reality and those memories are influenced by this collective consciousness, we're all shaping a shared reality together.
Wow, it's almost too big to grasp.
Totally. But it also means we have a huge responsibility for our thoughts and actions.
Absolutely. If every choice we make sends ripples through this universal consciousness, what kind of impact do we want to have? What kind of world do we want to build?
That's a powerful question. It definitely makes you think twice about how you treat others, how you interact with the world.
Every action, every thought becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of our shared reality.
Okay, my head is officially spinning. This is a lot, T.
It is a lot to
It's like,
process.
where do I sign up for Consciousness 2.0? Is there an upgrade I can download?
It is a lot to take in, but it's also super exciting. We have way more power to shape our reality than we think. We're not just pawns in some game. We're actively creating our experience and the collective experience of humanity.
And by tapping into this deeper intelligence, we can make better, more conscious choices. Choices that align with our full potential.
Exactly. It's not about erasing our memories or personalities. It's about seeing them as part of a bigger picture, understanding that our individuality is an expression of this universal consciousness.
And by embracing that connection, we access this unlimited source of wisdom and creativity.
Instead of fearing AI, maybe we can see it as an invitation to evolve.
Like a challenge that forces us to step up our game, to go beyond our current limits.
That's the spirit. It's not about doom and gloom. It's about the amazing possibilities that open up when we expand our awareness. It's about a new era where we break through our old ways of thinking and tap into the potential inside us.
And that potential is there for everyone, right? It's not just for some special group of enlightened people.
Absolutely. It's a journey of self-discovery, a process of unfolding. It's there for all of us, no matter who we are or what we believe.
I'm actually feeling inspired now. Instead of being scared of the future, I'm excited to see what we can create together when we tap into this collective consciousness.
That's the energy we need. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to discover. But before we finish this deep dive, we have to bring in Dr. Nicholas Schiff's perspective. He was part of this conversation with Sadhguru, and his work adds a whole other layer to this.
Right. Dr. Schiff works with patients recovering from severe brain injuries. He's literally bringing people back to life, helping them regain consciousness after it seemed lost. I can't wait to hear what he has to say, especially after everything we've been discussing.
His work is incredible. It shows just how adaptable the brain is, its ability to heal, rewire itself, even after severe trauma. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
So even when consciousness seems gone, there's still hope.
Exactly. Let's dive into Dr. Schiff's insights and see how they fit into this bigger picture of consciousness, memory, and transformation.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive. And after all that, I'm super curious to hear more about Dr. Schiff's work, especially after exploring Sadhguru's ideas about consciousness going beyond the brain.
It's a fascinating contrast.
Because Dr. Schiff works with patients who've had these severe brain injuries, people in comas, vegetative states.
Right, the front lines of neuroscience.
If anyone's going to understand the mysteries of consciousness, it's got to be him.
Absolutely. And he brings this really grounded, scientific perspective.
But I'm guessing it's not just about looking at brain scans, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, his work must be so emotionally intense. These injuries have such a huge impact on people's lives.
You can definitely hear that compassion when he talks about his patients. This belief in the brain's ability to heal even after these devastating injuries.
That's got to be inspiring to see that.
Absolutely.
But let's get to the big question. What does Dr. Schiff think about this idea of consciousness being separate from the brain?
He doesn't just dismiss Sadhguru's view.
Oh.
He acknowledges there's still so much we don't know about consciousness, but his focus is on the actual mechanics of the brain, how awareness happens.
So he's not looking for a soul or some kind of cosmic consciousness.
Not exactly. He's more interested in how the brain works on a physical level.
Sure.
Neurons firing, circuits connecting.
Makes sense. Science is all about what you can observe and test.
Exactly.
But I wonder, does his work ever hit those limits of what science can explain?
Oh, definitely. He's seen cases that really push the boundaries of our understanding.
Like what?
He talks about patients showing signs of awareness, even communication, after brain damage so severe they should be unconscious. It challenges everything we think we know about awareness, makes us rethink the whole connection between the brain and our experience.
It's like those patients are whispering secrets about consciousness that we're just starting to understand.
There's definitely a lot more to learn.
So what are some of the big takeaways from Dr. Schiff's work that we should keep in mind?
Well, one of the most important is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself make new connections, even compensate for damage.
It's like the brain has a backup system.
Exactly. And this is what makes recovery possible after things like strokes or brain injuries.
So even with serious damage, the brain can find new pathways and restore some level of function.
That's right.
Amazing. But how does this connect to consciousness?
Well, Dr. Schiff's research shows that certain therapies, like electrical stimulation or specific medications, can actually boost neuroplasticity.
Like giving the brain a jump start.
Exactly. And in some cases, this can help people regain consciousness after a coma.
That's incredible. So there's always hope, even if someone's been in a coma for a long time.
There's always hope. It shows the resilience of the human spirit, this drive to connect and awaken.
It makes you realize we should never give up on people.
Absolutely. But Dr. Schiff's work also brings up some tough questions.
What do you mean?
Well, what about the patients who don't show any outward signs of consciousness? Are they really unaware? Or are they trapped inside their own minds, unable to reach out?
It's a chilling thought.
It is. And it highlights how important it is to have better tools to detect consciousness in these patients. Dr. Schiff is using advanced imaging techniques to search for any brain activity that might indicate awareness.
Like looking for a signal in the darkness.
And he's found some remarkable things.
Like what?
He's seen evidence of brain activity in seemingly unconscious patients that suggests they're actually aware of their surroundings.
Wow, so they are in there somewhere.
It seems so. And some can even respond to questions. It really challenges how we define consciousness.
And what it means to care for these individuals.
It's a whole new world of medicine and ethics. We have to treat these patients with dignity, knowing that there might be much more going on inside than we can see.
This is heavy stuff. Every answer about consciousness seems to bring up more questions.
That's the beauty of exploration. Each discovery just opens up more to learn.
I feel like we've come full circle in our deep dive. We started by realizing how much we don't know about consciousness, and now we're ending with that same sense of mystery.
But we've learned some incredible things along the way. We've explored different states of consciousness, the power of memory, the incredible adaptability of the brain, and how it's all connected.
And maybe the biggest takeaway is that consciousness is a mystery worth exploring.
A journey worth taking.
I know I'll be thinking about this for a long time. I feel like I've got a whole new perspective on the world now.
So as you go about your day, pay attention to your own experience of consciousness, how it shapes how you see things, how you feel, what you do. Remember those altered states Sadhguru talked about? Can you see glimpses of them in your own life?
In my dreams, maybe. Or those quiet moments.
Exactly. And remember Dr. Schiff's work. Never underestimate the power of the human brain and spirit to heal and awaken.
It's amazing to think about.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all connected, all part of this incredible tapestry of consciousness.
Keep asking questions, keep exploring, keep seeking.
Because the journey is the destination.